Oh no. Zombies.
Are we live? It's Friday, you bastard!
The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic book community. Comic creators and comic fans, tonight you are seen, heard, recognized. Because comics are for everyone. Live from Miami, Florida, broadcasting around the world, this is the Not Near Mint Show.
Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. We have Michael here, and we have another guest that you might not know. His name is Kevin Freeman. Hey, Kev, you're Doc's Comics on YouTube.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Rob. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we're certainly hoping. For those that don't know who you are, I'm going to throw up first your BlueSky and then your YouTube page. And once Christina gets here a little bit later, I'm sure she'll be throwing up links for everybody. But you're on YouTube, you're on BlueSky, you're a comic collector like us. And tonight we're going to do top 10, and then we're just going to go right into showing some books. But why don't you tell the audience a little bit of who you are and what you do, Doc?
I'm a semi-retired college professor. I taught political science for about 20 years in North Carolina. Since I semi-retired, I've moved to Huntsville, Alabama, and my wife and I are running our own business here in town. I've been a collector for as long as you gentlemen have, I'm sure. I focus predominantly on Silver and Bronze Age comics, and high grade is sort of where my specialty is. So I try to get as nice of books as I possibly can. I like obscure stuff too, shorter runs, things are a little harder to find, and probably my biggest passion is Atlas and Silver Age Marvel Westerns. That's sort of where my niche is. That's what I like the most.
So you have the prototype first Black Panther and that two-gun kid, don't you?
Not a prototype of the Black Panther. I'll fight you on that one. When they
that is Black Panther.
I have it out here somewhere, but when they did the reprint, they actually changed the color of the Panther to red instead of black to try to eliminate any confusion. I mean, it came like what, 9 months before the Black Panther did. Nothing in common with T'Challa at all. I think this is speculation that's been made up by the collectors.
Probably, and right around the same time when they did that reprint, they also introduced in the Avengers comic Red Panther because we needed that.
Yeah.
So I have one question, and then we're going to jump right into the top 10, because this is a problem I think all of us, you, me, Michael, we're all facing. We're running out of space. How are you dealing with it?
Personally, I'm selling excess on Whatnot right now, believe it or not. I am trying to downsize. I mean, my collection pales in comparison to yours. I've got about 5,000 books altogether, but I'm much more of a quality over quantity person, so I don't have a ton of filler. I don't have a lot of dollar books, 50-cent books, things like that, but I'm still wanting to thin out the collection a little bit. And so the main way that I've been doing that is that as I get originals, I'm moving on reprints. So things like, I don't know, Marvel Triple Action and some of those Bronze Age Marvel and DC reprint books, I'm kind of moving those on now that I have the originals of most of it to make space for other stuff. I'm working on a lot of Silver Age DC right now, JLA, Green Lantern, then some of the more obscure kind of showcase titles that I'm working on as well, like Willie and Wendy. You heard of that one? Yeah, exactly. One of those kind of Archie spin-offs that DC did in the late 1960s. Batlash. I mean, there's a lot of really cool. I mean, DC was doing so much avant-garde stuff, I think, in the late 1960s. Stuff like Secret Six and the Spectre and Plastic Man, and a lot of really neat stuff that they were doing during that period that kind of went opposite of some of the campy stuff that they did in the years previous. So that's an area of DC that I'm really focusing on right now.
They're like just before the DC implosion, but just after Showcase 4, because let's face it, who among us can afford that unless we're millionaires?
So the showcase is like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the characters that were introduced in kind of that run, that's the stuff that I'm most interested in.
Like, I guess we could probably start around Green Lantern, maybe Rip Hunter, but yeah, we're not getting those first 5 Flash.
Skip the Atom, you can skip some of those early Metal Men. I mean, those are all pretty pricey. But when you get into I don't know, Hawk and Dove, which is one of the newbies that I'll show you in a little while, that becomes a little more affordable. And Hawk and Dove was such a cool series in the 60s. I mean, it's trying to be a snapshot of the turmoil of the United States in the 1960s.
Was Ditko the first artist on that?
Case, and I think he did the first 2 issues of the standalone, and then Gil Kane took over the rest. So not a bad substitute.
Yeah, Steve Ditko tended to rub people the wrong way. Unless you were in the BDSM community, then he rubbed people the right way.
That's probably information about Steve Ditko I don't want to know.
It's information that came out later on where it made me go, he wasn't just a cranky old man that was going to get off my lawn. He had an interesting coming up period.
Like George Perez, I guess, in that regard, right? He
We know our history. We like it. Yes, Gabriel, we're getting really close to 1,000. We're at about 974 subs at the moment. So our show is not Fight Club. You don't have to keep it to yourselves. Tell everybody. And also, while you're at it, you might as well tell people about Kevin's show, because Kevin's show over here, he does great shorts. He does. All right. So if you watch our shorts where I'm taking a camera and it looks like one of those early 2000s movies where it's let's keep it shaky to show action, he has a steady cam. So when he's showing his comic books, you see all full detail and everything, and he's doing full runs. He's doing chunks of some of the keys. He's a real collector, and if you want to find him, you can find him right down there.
Standing straight down on the floor, and I'm sitting on the carpet kind of doling out the books one at a time, so you see my hands. It's low tech. I am low tech on this. I do not have the technical wherewithal to do some of these fancy pants shows like a lot of folks in the YouTube comics community have. I'm very low key on this. Rough. It's rough. But yeah, I do a lot of observational stuff too. I'm trying to focus more on the collecting aspect of the hobby. So I have a video about how to buy comics on Whatnot. I have a video on how to buy and sell comics on eBay. I have a video on how to buy comics on Heritage, because I've dabbled into that, and it's not as overwhelming as a lot of people think it is. And then I do some observational kinds of things. I did a little showpiece on that period of Marvel in October, November 1971, where they did the double-sized books for a couple of months. That was one of my early collecting quests when COVID started, was to get every book that was double-sized during that period of time. So I did a little video on that one. And then I've got, and then I did the most recent one I did was on the showcase books that I talked about before, and I've got a few in the pipe that are coming up. I'm doing one on 10 books that I never want to see again. I'm trying to do kind of a humorous, tongue-in-cheek kind of video about books that we see everywhere, that everybody wants to sell and everybody wants to buy, that people are asking how much. I mean, you know the ASM 300s and the Secret Wars 8s and the Batman 423s. That group of books that you see everywhere. So tongue-in-cheek, if you got them, if you collect them, power to you. But I'm tired of looking at them. I want to see other stuff.
Hey, look, this guy has Eclipso #1 with the gem facing and poking out of the Mylar. Ooh.
Yeah. Experiment, to say the least. I remember I was actually working in an LCS. I was in college at the time, or in graduate school, and I remember them packing those books and how awkward it was. You can't make a vertical stack of those books. They were kind of all crooked, and the back covers would get dinged up the way that they stacked and packed them. So yeah, hopefully they don't do that again. But we've never
I didn't know about this. Was this a 90s experiment?
It was early 90s. It was right during the whole rush when the Image Boys were doing their thing, and then Marvel and DC were trying to adjust and make their books darker and grittier and with more pocket packs and leather jackets to try to match what Image was doing. And so the Eclipso gimmick was one way that they tried to, I guess, go against the grain a little bit. So this little plastic gem that Eclipso was holding on the cover, and it sticks out probably half an inch from the cover of the book.
I've had that book in my collection since the day it came out. It's almost in perfect condition, but I almost never put it in a box because the first thing I notice is it imprints on whatever is in front of it.
So how do you store it? You make sure the book in front of it has like 3 or 4 boards just to keep it extra thick, I guess.
Yeah, even Gabriel, he's passed on picking up that Eclipso one for 50 cents, which, let's face it, that's about what it's worth, and couldn't put it with the rest of the comics. Me, I have another room over there, just like how you're saying, well, to thin out the collection, I have to sell some stuff. Well, I did that. It's in another room. Guess how long it's been there? February.
All right.
I'll get to sell it one day.
I don't think the demand for that is going to rise rapidly anytime soon. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it should probably be about time to get to the top 10, right?
When I can count and how many of them I actually have this week, because I have not seen any. I know I always post on your BlueSky about 3 out of 10 this time, 4 out of 10 this time, 0 out of 10. Womp womp.
and sometimes for me, if I go, yeah, I have 0 out of 10. Rob, how do you have it then? Oh, a bird. No, anything that I show here is from everything back there or in my bedroom, which is where I segregated my mutant collection. And no, I'm not trying to do my facial expressions like how Vladimir Putin did earlier today, because he did some wild ones. So let's just get right to it. Here we go. We're going to start off. And again, this is the 3rd week of August. And I call it 3rd week because the first couple days of August, it was the tail end of the month. It was like a Friday, Saturday. So it just rolls over. So this is based off of the 28,895 comics that are in this collection. I am definitely a hoarder. Do not be like me. Focus on things, or focus on one thing instead of me, which is just, what do you like, Rob? Yes. Well, it doesn't identify anything. Didn't you hear me? I said yes. So the top 10 based off of all this, I run it through CovrPrice with CLZ, as long as you have a subscription to both. And you hit that value update button, it'll spit out a list, and this is said list. And we start with the bottom 5 crashes, the ones that went down the most. And I did not grab, or did I? What did I do with that? I didn't grab the number 10 book. This will take 2 seconds, luckily.
Let's guess. Is it a Hulk? Is it no, it's never an X-Men. Fantastic Four could be. What else would have gone?
All right, here we go.
It's never DC. It's never a DC book.
Yeah.
Well, you see the number 9 book. There you go. There's the number 5 book. Number 10, we have Fantastic Four. Number 25 is the Second Thing versus Hulk battle. This came out in 1964, and in a very good, fine condition copy, it run about $353 this week. Whoa. It dropped by $136. So we've seen the Fantastic Four movie, and hopefully we all did. I'm not spoiling anything by letting you all know that Hulk did not show up in that movie. So yeah, unless it's like Fantastic Four Annual 6, not everything is booming through the roof. But if you're a comic collector of Fantastic Four fame, it just opened you up for this week, and I didn't even see how much the stock market dropped today. Actually, let's take a quick look. Oh, it was up 34 points, which means that trying to compete with people this weekend, it's up, it's down. Who knows? This isn't a great weekend to try and compete with others that could be investor class collectors. Those people take their money out at the end of the week from the stock market. Well, that's number 10. Number 9, you've already seen, and I guess you already know what it is. First appearance of Jane Foster and second appearance of Thor came out in 1962 and a very good minus, 3.5 raw, $516. We're getting to the point that this is exactly how much I paid for this a few years ago. And I still think it's worth it, but right around the time that Thor movie came out that involved cancer being a joke and also screaming goats being a joke, before it came out, this thing popped because, hey, we have female Thor and it's Jane Foster. It's going to be a big movie, just like how the comic run by Jason Aaron was so good. The movie comes out and what did I just watch? And then it kind of cratered. But it helped me because I am a big fan of Jack Kirby and I'm still needing the issue 83 and 85. 85 has dropped below $1,000, so it's easily attainable today. That's number 9. Let's go to number 8, Superboy 68. This is the first appearance in Death of Bizarro. Well, they call him the prototype version because they introduce him, they give him the origin, and he dies. But he was very popular. He was very much like a Frankensteinish sort of character, and they did use him sort of in the Superman movie. They just called him Ultraman and then shoved him into a black hole. He'll be back. He's always back. He's Bizarro. And Jason Aaron even took a little bit of a run during Action Comics recently where he was magical. He just came into the magical land of Shazam and just went, yeah, I'm taking over here. That was actually a pretty fun run. And over quickly. Now, this next one here dropped really hard, and I feel really bad about this because I paid a pretty penny for it way back when it was FOMO season in 2021. Can you all guess how much I paid for it when I tell you how much it dropped this week?
That? You paid for that?
I paid for this long after it came out. J. Scott
50?
Campbell cover.
$50?
No idea.
100? $100 for that? Yikes.
This was advertised like as a 9698, and I'm going, yeah, this is actually a pretty good price for it. Well, then this week happened, and this week was so bad. So, number 7 book, near mint condition, 2009, $23.
Yeah,
it is
that's
down
right.
35. But to be fair, the actress that played her kind of went against the grain during the pandemic. And we just watched Ironheart just not do as well as they hoped because the lead actress girl bossed her way through. And I guess the project didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to. And that's why another book on the list is number 5. And I'll bring that up in a moment. But the next book that also dropped in, well, this one here I paid a bit more for too. Avenging Spider-Man, number 9, first appearance of Captain Marvel as, well, the Carol Danvers version, where they give her this nice new suit. They put her in a movie, and all the trolls on the internet went, we don't like women. Wait, what? Hey, I'll pay $100 for this book. Movie comes out. I'll pay you to get rid of it. And apparently that's what happened this week. 2012 book, near mint condition, $25. It is down 30. She still has her own series. It might not be by Kelly Thompson, but if a character still has an ongoing series, still appears in books, if the movie is not good, hey, the comics are still out there. Like Black Adam. Black Adam had a pretty good run lately where, I mean, it wasn't strictly that Black Adam. It was a different one, but it's a character that still appears in comic books, and because of that, I'm not going to be getting rid of them. But when the prices drop, it just means that's an opportunity for you.
But
so those were the ones. Go ahead.
But that's her first as Captain Marvel? Like, so she was Miss Marvel before? Is that the idea?
Yeah. The way that this works is her history as a comic book character is, it took a while. We'll put it that way. She started off in the, which one was that? Marvel Superheroes number 13. That was the issue right after the first Kree character of Captain Marvel was introduced. And she has no superpowers. She works for NASA. She's basically a secretary. And by issue 17 of the Captain Marvel series that featured the Kree guy, well, by then there was this big explosion, and that's where she kind of got the powers. But then later it was retconned. She had the powers all along, just like friendship. Yeah, she was Ms. Marvel for 23 issues, and then she became Binary and Warbird. And hey, there you go. This thing in a 9.8 during the pandemic was like an $8,000 book.
Wow.
I kid you not.
Wow. That's
I hope
crazy.
you got this before the pandemic.
I did get some things during the pandemic that I'm not proud of, but I mean,
I think we all did. Well, yeah, this one dropped, so it just shows you don't buy at the high because you can absolutely find things less. There's this guy I've been watching on YouTube, and I'm forgetting the name right off the top of my head. He has been interviewing old-time collectors, and when I say old-time, like the youngest person that he's interviewing is 60. And they're talking about actual rarity in comic books. And they're saying, yeah, I've had an Action Comics one. I've had multiple. I've sold multiple of Detective Comics 37. They're not that rare. Rarity is the thing where you're trying to finish a collection and you've been waiting 20 years and you finally pick it up. And he listed off a whole bunch of books from 30s, 40s, and 50s that I'm sure you and me, superhero collectors, have never heard of.
I know exactly who you're talking about, too.
Kestrel or something. Kestor.
Kestrel's comic books, or whatever his channel is. I like his show.
Me too. I mean, that gives me information that I'm not going to find from people our age. I mean, people our age, we have similar kind of information, similar stories that we heard about, but the older generation, they're dying out. So it's a good time to be listening to hear about their history, how they observed it, because I can't go back in time. I don't have a time machine. If I did, I'd be going and getting those not rare books. All right, those ones dropped. These are ones that came up. We're going to start off with number 5. This thing has been going up because the news has been making around that the character that played him in the Ironheart show had a very good role that just kept getting more and more diminished because they kept trying to make it more and more grounded. Now, I have not seen Ironheart, so I can't comment on it. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to take a poop on it just because everyone else is. I'm going to watch it myself, and if it's really that bad, then I'll poop on it. But I don't like talking bad about things, really. So apparently his role in this was super fantastic, and they're going to retrofit some of those lines, some of the dialogue that he had into other projects. And that kept sending this up. And I remember way back when we were watching WandaVision, and who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy going to be, huh? Who's the bad guy, Michael? Who's the bad guy, Michael?
Which one? Where?
It was supposed to be this guy. They even referenced him, never showed up.
Shabaran.
Here's another show, and they reference him, doesn't show up. Then here's Ironheart in 2 seconds. Good.
Oh, I said, isn't it Sacha Baron Cohen or so, whoever he's
yes.
the show either? I thought it was.
I'm going to have to watch it eventually over the weekend, but I have gotten to watch nothing for the last 3 or 4 months. I think I watched the first episode of Wednesday and I liked it, but Heather didn't. So she turned it off and put it back to Love Island. This is why I don't get to watch anything.
Yeesh. Mephisto is not on
Rob,
Love Island.
Did you watch? No. But what about? No.
No.
No, just no. So a 7.5, very fine raw minus 1968 book, $535 is finally coming back up to where it should have been around because, all right, in the 1960s, if you see a 25-cent book, that is already more than double of the 12-cent cost. So if you were ordering this stuff through the mail, anything that was a 25-center, you didn't get. You'd have to go to a newsstand in order to purchase it. So a lot of these 25-centers had a much lower print run. That's why we see that issue 4 saying, it's scarce. I mean, scarce for a Marvel book from the 60s. This still had like a print run of upwards of 500 to 800,000. Maybe from the 25 centers is down 600,000. But a lot of people threw them away because comics were still disposable. But 1968 was a big game changer for Marvel. That's when also you had the Robert Bell bags introduced. Because before that, all these comics, they would just be in a stack or in a box. No bags, no boards, no nothing. Robert Bell came along and here's a bag. You put it in the bag. You wait 2 years, you take it out of the bag, and then here goes the cover because it just ripped off because those things stuck to the book. All right, so yeah, this one's up. Another one this up, and let's face it, just about anything with Superman right now is up. It doesn't matter if it's a non-key. It doesn't matter if it's a key. If it's from the Bronze Age or before, hey, people went to go see the movie and went, I want to collect some Superman. Well, what's good? How about the one where he has the hypno-vision from his glasses, and that's how people can do the Clark Kent Superman. Right. Well, at least this one here is something that could happen. Anybody that watched Seinfeld way back in the day, they had the Superman race where it was Superman competing for a girl that was just like Lois. And with James Gunn, this is his era. He grew up reading this stuff. He is just a little bit older than some of us. So we're going to be seeing the stuff that he grew up on. And this is the first Flash Superman race. And it was a draw. They had multiple others. And I think only one of them Flash actually won. And that was much more modern by comparison. Well, a very good, fine condition 5.0 Raw from 1967, $116, which is about right. Because about $100 for this book in mid-grade, I mean, that's about right. This thing was heavily printed. It was a very popular book of the time. And being that DC won the lawsuit between Captain Marvel / Shazam / the original Captain Marvel, not, this posier. I'm going to go see the Captain Marvel movie this weekend. Which one? Touche. Still weird that you had two Captain Marvel movies essentially came out in the same year. Well, yeah, $116. It's up 31. That was number 3. And when I was putting the banner together for the show, I used the wrong book because when I ran the list, I didn't look at the pictures. I just went, oh, DC Comics Presents. That's got to be Superman or He-Man because of all this movie stuff. No, it was DC Comics Presents 26 that went up. So sorry if you were tuning in hoping that He-Man would be on here, because instead it's the Teen Titans. And you have a couple first appearances in this book. A lot of the DC Comics Presents, this was part of the DC implosion of the 70s, but it had some really good appearances in this. This one here included Starfire, Raven, and Cyborg. Cyborg made the movies, so people still want it, even though Joss Whedon really shat on the actor that played him. But then again, Joss Whedon, he had good ideas. Too bad that he was a shitty human being. Well, this thing here, 1980 book, near mint condition, $118, so only $2 more than a Superman 199. And I mean, let us know in the comments, folks, which would you rather have for about $116, $118?
Well, I always think that that's undervalued. The first Teen Titans, I'm always amazed at how low that goes for. You've got 3 kind of primary figures in it. So yeah, I think I don't think it's going to go up, but I also think it's really undervalued.
Yeah, I mean, at near mint, I was seeing shops, even just last year, selling this for about $200 and up. And yeah, it's the first new Teen Titans, but it's not Brave and the Bold 54. And even that thing has been coming down quite a bit. Like what you could get a Brave and the Bold 54 today, you could have gotten for this back in 2021. I kid you not. You could look that up. It blows my mind. But yeah, $118, up 37. That was number 3. Here's number 2. Number 2, this was a book that was really blowing up a few years ago because they were putting Nubia everywhere. And then just, I guess y'all didn't buy it. You saw me when I'm showing all these new books. I was buying everything. I love Nubia. Give me new Wonder Woman characters. I love Amazonians for reasons. I like women that look like they can kill me. So issue 204, the big thing about this book that I wanted to begin with before I knew anything about Nubia, Wonder Woman was not wearing her traditional costume up to this point. Before then, it was the white costume or street clothes because she lost her powers for a time. It was the 70s. It was Margaret Atwood. Let's do some feminism and show that she doesn't need to show her assets. And, well, Robert Kanigher, the guy that was doing all the war comics, he was put back on this book and he went, yeah, we're done with that woke shit. And I can't believe that was basically the thought back in the 1970s. But they went, yeah, we're going to put her right back into this book. So here we are. And if you actually read this, you would see that Robert Kanigher introducing a black woman in this was an interesting choice because Robert Kanigher, I don't want to call him a racist, but it kind of gave him the opportunity to use very racist language so that here Wonder Woman can try and beat them. But meanwhile, he's still using the words. It's kind of like just recently, I just learned of this today. Bloodshot from Valiant. There was a panel that was very anti-trans and it was subtext, but anybody that knew better read that and went, yeah, no more Valiant. No, we're not going to support anybody that's attacking trans people. Sorry, we're not doing that. But here we are. Good.
read. I said the reference was to vampires, but you could very easily read between the lines.
Oh yeah, and kind of attributing vampirism to trans. Come on, it's 2025. I do realize the person who's president right now, and let's face it, if today one of those B-52 bombers would have dropped a bomb there, it could have fixed a lot of problems for a lot of people throughout the entire world today. But we're not going to talk about that. Instead, we're going to talk about the #1 book, which is Marvel Spotlight #5, the first appearance and origin of Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. So this thing here was super up during the pandemic, and it just started cratering. Not for any particular reason, just that he's going to be in a movie. No, he's not. He's going to be in a movie. No, he's not. Hey, Midnight Suns, but wait, we still don't know what we're doing with Man-Thing. And Man-Thing, everything that was from the supernatural side just started falling off. And this thing fell off to the point that even a higher grade book like an 8.0 was under $1,000. You were getting it for about $800. Well, this week, no particular reason, just maybe people are talking about it. I know that the CovrPrice top 10 list that Tom does over on Comic Tom 101 and some of the other top 10 shows, this has been on it. I can't tell you why it's up, but there's a lot of these out there. And if you wait long enough, maybe you can get it. I opened this up on our show live when I purchased this back in like 2019, and somebody sent it in one piece of cardboard taped to the backside. And that was it. I still am shocked it arrived in the condition it was. But 1972 book, 8.0 raw, very fine, $1,061. It is up 111. Same condition in 2021 was going for $3,000. Just saying. And those were the top 10 this week. And do remember, this list is intended to help collectors and readers determine if they should look for a particular book or series online or wait 6 weeks. And if it's 6 weeks is still up, wait 6 months. And after 6 months, if it's still high, you might as well buy because it's not coming down anytime soon. And those were the top 10 comics of the 3rd week of August. And now we're going to start seeing books from these guys.
4 this week, 4.
Well, we can keep it a short show. I like that because it's been a long week. As you noticed, I'll just tell everybody this and I'll pass it on over to you, Kevin. So Miracleman, Lady Fantastic, and Tacoma Comics. Long weeks. They are taking a well-deserved break. I'm thankful that Michael's here. I'm thankful for Kevin's here. And most of all, I'm thankful for all you at home are watching. And let's see what Kevin got this week.
Heard I was going to be on the show and they bailed. I just figured that.
I don't know, Michael. I dropped that in the chat saying, hey, Kevin Freeman's going to be on. What did they say?
Yeah, that's when they started dropping out. Oh my God, I didn't even put that together.
All right, it's a short week for me.
And Star-Lord.
As I told y'all, I tend to focus on higher grade silver and Bronze Age books. So I got a grand total of 5 this week. First one I got, this is Green Lantern number 69 with a, I'm trying to keep it off the glare, but let me see that. Okay. Masked robot lady, Green Lantern, always being deceived by the lady, it seems like. And she's got quite a set of twofers on her, but I love the monochrome background covers that DC does during this era, whether they're pink or red or brown or anything like that. So Green Lantern 69, I managed to pick that one up. I hinted at this one already, but I did get a Showcase 75. This is the first appearance of Hawk and Dove, Steve Ditko. Been working slowly but surely on my Showcase run. Like you said, Rob, when I start getting back too far, it's going to be incredibly difficult. But these kind of post Metal Men are a little more affordable with a few exceptions.
Even Metal Man came down because I think last year there was an episode of Comic Tom where he was making the remark that James Gunn is going to definitely do Metal Man, and it drove the price up. But no one's been talking about it for a few months, so now you can get a first appearance and like maybe a VG minus for maybe $250.
I'd love a Metal Man. That'd be awesome. Kind of this is totally the next Marvel show that I would really love to see is a Marvel 2-in-1 with Thing and guest stars. Wouldn't that be awesome?
So the Thing was basically Jack Kirby in the movie. He wasn't as jealous as the Thing from the Kirby run. I'm never going to say the Stanley run. He never did a thing on that book. But Jack Kirby was perfect as the Thing, or Ebon Moss, whoever was actually playing him under all that rockiness. But he was such a good character, and I would definitely pay a little more to see that on Disney Plus.
B-listers and C-listers and A-listers for that much, they could have multiple seasons of a Marvel 2-in-1. Sorry, I got off topic here. This is the next one I got. It's Daredevil number 15. This is actually an upgrade for me. I had a pretty low grade copy of this, but I managed to find a little nicer one. This is about a very fine 8.0 with the very famous A-list villain, the Ox, as the primary opponent of Daredevil. I've got, this is the last issue of Adam and the Hawkman. It's number 45. Technically there was, and Rob I'm sure knows this, there was a number 46 that they did in Darkest Night in like 2010, but as far as the ongoing series, that was Adam and switched over to Adam and Hawkman. This is the final issue. I mean, great Joe Kubert cover. You can't go wrong with that kind of stuff. And then the last one I'm working on, this is kind of a project of mine. People who follow me on social media, you know I'm a fan of Foom. I love Foom. And I just discovered relatively recently that there was a DC equivalent of that, and I did not know it. It's this Amazing World of DC Comics. So I have been working diligently to try to get all of these. There's only about 17 of them, and there's not a crazy one like there is with Foom number 10, you know, that first appearance of the new X-Men and the Steranko Hulk, and there's some that are really pricey in Foom, but these are all very reasonable. And this is issue number 2 of the Amazing World of DC Comics, and they all have fun little things on the back, so I definitely put the clear backing boards on these so I can see both sides of it. But that's the 5 books that I got this week. Hopefully I'll get a few more next time.
That looks like Carrie Bates, the guy with the beard, if I had to guess.
It is. You're right. It's Carrie Bates and Elliot. Elliot?
Megan. Yeah. Hey, can I ask, over your right shoulder, what are those colored books above? Yeah, there. Those. What are those?
Marvel Masterworks. I have a whole bunch of these. You know, these the hardcover reprints that Marvel has done up until very recently when they decided they were going to stop doing them. So I have quite a few.
When did you start getting those? It looks like you've been at it for 20 years.
Say that again, Rob.
When did you start getting all the Marvel Masterworks? It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, like all of them for like the last 20, 30 years.
There's like 350 of them or 380 of them altogether, and I probably got 40% of them, I would say. I don't have a lot of I don't have any of the Golden Age ones or the Atlas Age ones, and it's really just a lot of the mainstream hero stuff that I've been getting, silver and bronze. But this allows me, because I have a lot of older books that are in nicer condition, so this is what I read instead of busting out the ones out of the bags and boards and taking a chance that I get heaven forbid, a tape pull or something like that. So this is how I read a lot of the stuff. I read some digital, but I much prefer to read comics with something tactical in my hand. And these are nice and they look great on the shelf. So these are kind of my go-tos for actually reading the books.
I had an attorney friend of mine way back before I started doing the show. He kind of inspired me to do this show, where he showed me a picture of his comic collection and how he did everything through CLZ. And I went, I got to up my game. And that's how it got to the point where I'm at here today. But one of the things that he pointed out to me, because he was about maybe 10 years my senior, was that with his eyesight, you know, we're well, maybe not Michael there. Michael looks like he has perfect vision. We're the glasses folks. So me, when I'm trying to read real close, sometimes, especially if it's just as an example, death metal. Here's the Joker, or no, not the Joker, the Batman who laughs with black background with red type over it. And I'm trying to read this and going.
I'll give you a good example. So I love, I assume you might as well, but I love the new Conan series by that Titan does. But the font is so tiny on it. I have to squint, and I'm turning into an old man, and my vision isn't that great in the first place. But I really struggle. I have to have perfect lighting in order to be able to read it all. So I'm getting to the point now where pretty much all the prose books that I read, I do that. I said do, but I do those digitally, and I have to blow up the fonts a little bit so I can read it. I struggle reading just standard prose books. But I haven't really. I mean, I have some digital comics, but I haven't taken the complete plunge into it yet. But it might be getting to that point with at least with new books that I might have to start reconsidering that.
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I don't know if I've just gone so digital that if I'm looking at a picture, like a physical printed out picture, that I still try and do this. And then I go, oh yeah, this is a comic book. Why don't I just read this online illegally? Technically it's legal because I do some really, really weird shit. Like I'll spend $200-300 on all the new comics that week and not read a single one of them. I'll just bag boredom and go, okay, let's read this online so I can blow that up.
Is Marvel still doing those free digitals with each purchase? I don't know. Do they do that anymore?
They do that. Hey, I do too.
Too.
They did do that too. And while they were doing that, you would have to remove a sticker, which just like if you had to send that into CGC, they would remark that a piece of the book was removed.
I didn't know that.
They were. I don't know if they're still doing it. It's just one of those. But here we are with all
That's
that.
something. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So, Michael, did you get any new books? Because I got two. Just two old books.
I did get some because, as I mentioned before the show, I actually was in a big city and that had a real comic book shop. Actually, I'll give it a little bit of a shout out for people in Toronto area, The Beguiling. The only weird thing about it, as I go in and it's got this big thing, masks required. And I was like, well, maybe that's still left over from 2 years ago. And I walk in because I'd already walked an hour from my hotel to get there. And it was like, I'm not walking back and trying to find a mask. And sure enough, I walked in and they were like, oh, you're going to need a mask. Thankfully, they had ones for everybody because, nobody would bring their own mask. Nobody thinks to bring masks in Toronto anymore. So anyways, yeah, that was just weird to do it. But it was a lovely comic book store. There was a great staff member who helped me out. So yeah, for people not familiar with the show, I'm a big Richie Rich fan. I don't collect the originals so much, although a few kind of key ones. But what I really go after is the little digest, and they're so hard to find. If you go into any comic shop, you'll find 1,000 Archie ones, although they're going to stop printing them. That's what I read an article on. But you can't, finding Richie Rich is almost impossible. But I got everyone from this comic book shop that I could find. Nice condition. I was very happy. I got that Richie Rich. I'll add it to my little spreadsheet so I know which ones I got. Probably some duplicates since I don't have them in my head, but that was okay. These were really good condition, good price. If you try and get them online, even like I always look at eBay to see if I can find them. Like you can see them for like $5 in such bad condition. So yeah, finding these $3 Canadian, not bad. So also I went downstairs. It's funny when you don't know comic shops. I was like, oh, they don't have many old books here. It was all downstairs, but you had to leave your bag up and it was a secret room. So yeah, luckily I saw some people going downstairs and I was, oh, there must be a secret room down there. And I followed it. And so I got
the secret room for really good books or for the corn?
No, there's no, well, there was actually some porn actually, now that I think of it, but
no, it was porn on the interwebs.
It was for the downstairs. They said were like from the $5 to the $25 books. And then the really expensive ones were and then I got him to bring a few down. I wasn't going to spend, I had to meet up with my family for an escape room. So yeah, I didn't go through all the comics I wanted to go through for the old ones. But I got,
you went to an escape room?
I did. My daughters love doing escape rooms with me. So we went to one. It was called The Butcher and we rescued the baby. The baby's fine, guys. Baby, that was actually funny. The last thing you open, the last thing you open is the baby. It says right on the door, do not leave without the baby. Find the baby first. It's like, okay, we'll find the baby. He was a very quiet baby. He didn't cry at all during the time. But yeah, there was a lot of butcher soft stuff, a lot of knives coming at us. And I have to say, we've been doing it for, I'd say, I guess 10 years maybe with my daughters. And it's amazing to see how they blossomed. It used to be me doing all the heavy lifting and them kind of following me around. now it's me following. They're getting the clues. They're going. Yeah, they're pretty amazing now. So I'm taking second fiddle. So I found this. Why do I pick this up? Because I'm trying to find covers for my favorite character, or all DC characters and Marvel characters that are my favorite covers. Doesn't have to be a famous cover, doesn't have to be a key cover, but I look through all the covers and I say which one speaks to me that I like. So this is actually one that I'd been looking for. Not very expensive, but it's one I really, really like from the Spectre run. The other one I'd like is actually Spectre number 8, a Nick Cardy cover. I'm trying to get the $1. Is it $1? Yeah, $1 World Finest. This was the last one I needed to finish my series, the $1 World Series ones. Sorry, World Finest ones. So I'm happy to get those. That was the last one I needed. They had it. It's nice to
We're
find.
just getting from Gabriel. Who did that cover? I guess the last one.
The Spectre. Oh, yeah. It's. I don't think it could be Tom Mandrake.
I think so. Okay. I mean, Mandrake was on that book through most of the run.
So if you look up, it's Spectre number 6. But I think there was somebody else who was doing some amazing covers on it. So look it up for me. Spectre number 6. I think it was somebody else who did it actually. Because Mandrake is beautiful interiors, but he's a little bit. He's not.
Kevin looks like he has the run, and he's looking it up right now.
Okay, so it's number 6, Spectre number 6.
I'm really excited that they're finally putting that out in omnibus form. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all keep going. I'm typing.
Okay. So another little run I'm working on. So I work on these little runs that aren't overly expensive, that aren't going to kill my book, but also ones that haven't been collected yet. DC Finest is doing a great job collecting it, so maybe they'll be collected one day. Like Epic Collections and stuff. A lot of collections, there's certain little runs of books that haven't been collected yet. So Batman Family's one of them, and so I'm doing a little Batman Family run.
As according to
Batman Family ran into Detective. Go ahead.
Gary Leach on that cover.
Gary Leach. Okay, that makes sense. My little runs. I got the little runs. So this is about actually this is one of the first comics I got when I was a little baby collector, and it's in poopy condition. So yeah, this is actually nice condition. So I picked it up. White Wedding. Shout out to Billy Idol. I think that's the name. Shows how much I know about rock. Another Batman Family.
No, that was a very hot video back from the 80s. Young woman crawling on the floor towards her master. I mean, man.
Oh, that was Whitesnake, I think.
Oh, I mean, every 80s video is pretty much that. So it's okay.
And then the last two are kind of, again, I have my weird wish list that nobody else has. And I like it because it's mine. That nobody else would have these books on their wish list, although a lot of people like these. It's not to say they don't like it. So I found these two. So I got him to get the box down for Strange Tales and Doctor Strange. Again, if I had more time, I would have looked for more wish list stuff, but I had to run. So I got one. I've been waiting for a while to get this. I love this Steranko cover.
It's cover appearance of Val.
Yeah, so I love it. And the other one I really, really love, maybe not as clean as I would have liked, but it's hard to get it perfectly clean. But it's one of, again, why do I like it? I like it. It's Eternity. It's Doc Strange with his mask on, but it's one of my favorite Doc Strange covers. So again, just trying to pick the covers that I really, really like. And if you'll indulge me, one other thing I got, this was for my birthday for my lovely family. I like a lot of different things like Alice in Wonderland, but I also like Sherlock Holmes. Now, I don't know if this translates well, but this is a book nook from Lego. They put out 3 this year. They did Lord of the Rings. It sucks. They did a Harry Potter one, very beautiful one. But one of my favorite characters of all time is Sherlock Holmes, and they did this book nook on it. I'm not going to open it up to do it full justice, but yeah, you can put it in between your books. You can open it up. It's a little a cityscape of London and B21 Baker Street. It's got Sherlock and Watson there and one of the Baker Street irregulars. And there's a few hidden compartments alluding to some of his mysteries that he did. But anyways, that was my lovely birthday present for my family, and I appreciate that so much.
So, Michael, I kind of have an idea that I just learned from somebody else's video where they bought this multi-million-dollar house and then turned it into a giant playhouse. And one of the rooms, when you look through the little peephole, it looks like you're looking through the set of Friends. And all they did was just take a setup similar to what you have right there, and they just put it onto a platform from that peephole. So it looks like you're looking into the set of Friends. You could do that for that. Well, not the Lord of the Rings one, because apparently even Lord of the Rings, Lady Fantastic would say it sucks. But you could use for that one, put that up there and go, hey, look, I live in the Lego house.
Okay, if I was smart, I'd do that for sure. Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah. I like Lego. I don't collect it as religiously as some people, but definitely if it's Sherlock Holmes, love it. If there was an Alice in Wonderland coming out, I'd be getting that too. Yep. So that's my stuff. So it was a very happy week for me. Birthday gifts, going down to Toronto, seeing a real bookstore, comic book store. Very good week.
Yourself short on the Strange Tales and Doctor Strange. I'm a big fan too. I got a whole bunch of them, so it's great stuff.
And ladies over here saying you suck.
Hey, lady!
Hey, lady!
Hey, lady!
Okay.
Lady.
It's the Book Nook that's bad, lady. It's not all of Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. The Book Nook sucks. It objectively sucks. The book.
And is it really that bad?
You always find some people who like it. Compared to the Sherlock Holmes, compared to the Harry Potter, the effort that went into the Lord of the Rings one is horrible. It's basically just a frame, a skeleton frame, not filled in, of just gray. There's the Balrog, if I'm pronouncing that right, and then there's a little Gandalf. It's barely any detail. There's some kind of cave work a little bit, but not much. It's just, it made me sad because I would have loved a Book Nook for Lord of the Rings too, but there was no level of detail. It really felt like the effort was kind of like churn it out, charge them $150. They'll buy it because it's Lord of the Rings. So yeah, if you look at the three of them, definitely to me, Sherlock Holmes is number one. Harry Potter is a really beautiful one too, if you like Harry Potter, but Lord of the Rings, Book Nook, forget about it.
I think maybe you're talking about two different sets of Legos here, because Lady really likes one of the Lord of the Rings Lego sets.
The sets are great. Rivendell is one of the top Lego sets of all time. So yes. And then there was the Eye. Where did the bad guy live? The Eye of Mordor? Is that gonna?
One simply doesn't.
Yeah, that's Helm's Deep. Yeah, Helm's Deep and Rivendell. Those are amazing sets. If you have like $500 to spare, yeah, those are beautiful sets. So yeah, for sure.
Lordy. Yeah, I need like another thing to collect. Like I need a hole in the head. I was asked on Jig's Kingdom just the other week. So Rob, what else do you collect other than comic books? This is it. Like 10 years ago, maybe it was girlfriends, but things happen where I don't do that anymore either. But when I first started AA, I was collecting days, and now it's so long that it's like 1 day, 2 days, 3 weeks, it all blurs together. I just collect comic books. That's why things are in like some order. But if you get into the nitty gritty and you look at these boxes here, like, hey, this side of the wall looks the way it does because I was pulling books. Over on that side over there, I had to pull a whole lot more books. But yeah, you only see what I want y'all to see. Because otherwise, yeah, this room needs a little bit of work too, just like everybody else. When you're an active collector, there is no possible way that you can have museum quality unless that is your job. And I'm a court reporter. I was in Key West today. I came back and went, oh, I got to pull books. I need to take a nap. Hey, it's showtime. Did I pull all the books? Every one except for that Fantastic 425. We just call it Fridays around here. Oh, you're 12 tonight. I don't get
it. She's saying she's immature. That's 12-year-old immature because she's saying see D's nuts, and I guess we're supposed to say D's nuts. I don't know.
D's nuts. We get it.
We know you have nuts, Lady Fantastic. We know.
I mean, I do too, because
oh no, he was going to show.
You are what you eat.
Okay.
All right, so I got 2 books, and I guess we'll wrap it up for the night. So here we go. These are the books that I got this week, and it's only 2. That's it. My comic book store, his name is John Freshly. The name of the shop over on Instagram is Miami Fresh Comics. He usually does these claim sales on Saturday night, starts at about 11 o'clock at night and runs through 4 a.m., sometimes later. And then he stays until 6. That was a close call, Rob. Lots of sophomoric humor. Yeah, I get lots of close calls. I just call them Tuesdays around here. I didn't run off the road today, and for that, I thank the drivers of South Florida. So let's change the camera over and see what I got. So the first thing here, the only thing I got from my shop is a back issue. When he puts it up, I'm like, oh, how do I not have that one? $5? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. Then watched 6 hours of him showing mostly all books I already have. It's like, come on, isn't anyone buying? Like, well, I would. But I have everything you're showing. That might tell me I have a problem. But the other one that I got was something that I ordered on eBay because I just cannot find it anywhere. I found it once when I didn't have the money on me and went, I'll get back to it. And then tried looking it up and gone, well, Key Collector says it's an $8 book. It's a first cover appearance for a character that hasn't been in an ongoing book or in any book in some time. And here we have the first cover appearance of Hit Girl.
Oh.
It happens in issue 3 is when she makes her first appearance, but her first cover is on the second printing. If you try and find this on eBay, the print run is pretty low. It's probably under 800 that were printed of this, and it definitely shows online. When we're talking rarity, real rare is like under 100. This is just harder to find. I mean, rarity, the word in and of itself, depending on the age of the collector, they're going to tell you a different explanation for anything. But when we're talking about under 2,000 print run for something Marvel, that's pretty low print. So this for under 800, still really difficult. Like if you're trying to find that Black Panther 2 with the Shuri cover, or no, it's Shuri issue 2, second print, 800 printed of that, and it's always a $100-200 book. If you try and find this on eBay, $100-200 book. But I found this exact copy from a guy in the Netherlands. So that's why starting on the show, Michael over here lives in Canada. He ordered something and he had to pay 40% extra once it came in. That's why I had to ask him that question before the show began. And that's definitely a conversation we should have. So when I ordered this from the Netherlands, I was absolutely expecting that I'd have to pay more money, and no, it was just dropped off. But if you're ordering things from other countries, that is now a consideration we have to think about. But I ordered this for shipping and everything for about $41, and I'm very happy with what I got because I've wanted this forever. But, well, forever being like the last 6 years, but I wasn't actively looking for it. But since I'm trying to save for a really, really, really big book right now, I'm limiting what I'm picking up right now. Those were the 2 books that I picked up this week. And next week I'll get a little bit more. Maybe not. Or maybe by the end of the year, early next year, I can finally have that big book that I've wanted. And then it'll be like the end of the movie, The Truman Show. Hey, Truman got off his Truman Island. What else is on? And that's our show tonight. I want to thank Kevin Freeman for showing up here, showing his comics, showing his channel, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm dropping that back in the chat one more time. And thanks, Michael, for telling everybody. At least I'm getting it from one specific person who hopefully no one will get snaked out from, so I'm not going to repeat who it's coming from, but it's somebody that's been on the show. Thank you so much, lady. And again, if you haven't subscribed to Kevin, he does some great videos. We want to have him back on the show again, too. Kevin, is there anything that you want to talk about where you're doing something coming up, something you want to promote?
No, but I do appreciate you letting me be on the show for the first time. This has been a lot of fun. I'm sorry that a lot of the regulars weren't here, but I'd love to have another opportunity to talk to the lady and some of the other folks who I see on here all the time.
And hopefully one day when you come back that they don't go, scatter, it's like a comet's coming, run.
Another old man, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, see, even lady says, yeah, come join us again. We all love having people that are excited about comics, collect them just like how we do. And me, I'm somebody that I'd prefer to just have the book rather than the grade. You're the high grade collector. There is no wrong way to do it other than if you're getting coverless books. Oh, did I say that? No, I meant having rust on the staples. Oh, did I say that? Okay, we all have our red lines.
Stains.
Oh, rust stains? Yeah, I'll show you one last thing.
Water stains.
Water!
He's gonna pee on his comics. He always does this to end the show.
Yeah, in your comics.
Don't do it, Rob.
This is what I say. No rusty staples. Why? Because one day you will go to take that book out and you will notice, hey, I didn't notice that being all discolored before. Hey, I didn't notice that that no longer adheres to the cover anymore. No rusty staples. That's my one thing. My one I don't care if the thing is split up and down. My Superman #7 back there, cover and the back cover completely separated. Neither one is attached to the book. I'm just glad I have it. But there's no rusty staple. But then again, I was also given that book for free. If you're going to give me something for free, I'm not going to start looking a gift horse in the mouth, because then I'm checking the teeth.
Little mommy dearest from Lady here.
No wire hangers ever! Sorry to scare all of you out there. Michael, do you have anything you want to promote?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Rob.
Well, that's been our show. We're going to be back next week. I thank everybody for joining us tonight. Again, this weekend on Saturday, if you watch Astonishing Comics, they have their whale auction. This is where books start at $100. So the market's been down. I've watched a lot of their shows during whale auction where some books just don't sell at all. So if you're looking for a great deal down there, that's going to be the place to find it. Otherwise, we'll be back next week, August the 15th, Old Comic Book Day, because let's face it, if it's not New Comic Book Day on a Wednesday, they're all Old Comic Book Days. So let us know if you have any of the books that were shown here tonight. Drop us a comment. If there's anything you want to see on the show, you can find me over on BlueSky. You can also find Kevin on BlueSky. We want to thank Kevin for joining us. And again, thank you all. We'll be back next week. So read your comics and, yeah, we'll do this all again next week. Love y'all. Good night. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.